the Giada A51. This is a multimedia PC. It's also tiny. It's more of an appliance PC than a massive gaming rig that's going to replace your giant box like that. No, this is going to replace all kinds of boxes, but not that box. It's going to replace the boxes in your living room. You know, all that junk that's underneath your TV? This can easily replace it because it can do 1080p playback. If you've got Myth TV or something like that, if you want to use something like that, do you know what Myth TV is? Can you tell them what Myth? You use this at home. I don't have TV, so it's over my head, but...
like Myth TV with the Hauppauge HD PVR through USB, something like that. This would make an awesome Myth TV box. You can also stream playback and do high def playback from from the network, or drag and drop videos to it. I mean, you could put a 500 gig or 750 gig upgraded hard drive in it and have plenty of media storage right in the living room.
That does void the warranty.
Yeah,
now, I'll get to the hard drive in just a second, but first off, let's just talk about the specs, and then I'll come back around and tell you all the different things that you can use this for, because it's tiny. You want one of these because it's so nice and small. It's a full computer. It's actually pretty fast. Fast for the size, that is. It's an AMD Fusion-based machine. So it's got the E450 Fusion processor. That's a dual core running at 1.6. Also integrated into that, we have the Radeon 6320, which will allow us DirectX 11, all that stuff. Again, it's not a gaming system, but you can do indie games. I was running Bastion on this with no problems whatsoever. Skyrim, Crysis, not so much. Not so much at all. The hard drive, 320 gigabytes. It's a standard mechanical hard drive running at 7200 RPM. We have USB 3 on this. Supports 1080p video, no problem. Bluetooth on board. Also Wi-Fi, BGN, all that's there. And this thing is really quiet. We're talking like 20-something decibels quiet, like whisper quiet. So you turn this on, even in a quiet room while you're watching a movie. If you guys are streaming a movie from this, and it's like, like a really quiet part where people are whispering to each other, whether they're whispering sweet nothings like, "Oh God, I love you," or, "You know what? Next time I see you, you're dead, man." That's going to be crystal clear, and you're not going to have like a fan whirring in the background like, "Zzz." It's one thing that does drive me crazy, like whenever I watch TV with like a big computer, you're like trying to watch a quiet scene, it's like, no.
Even if you're using a PS3, this thing is quieter.
Yeah, quieter than a PS3, quieter than an Xbox 360. So there you go. You can get a VESA mounting bracket for this and mount it behind your television, or mount it anywhere else that you have VESA compliant, I guess, screw holes. So that works just fine. And I also want to point out that this AMD Fusion is faster than the other Intel-based options. I know, let's see, Asus has the E-Box, and then there's the Lenovo Idea Center. This, doing like a handbrake, to do some file compression, kills them. It just absolutely kills them, and it's faster for playing video games. So if you guys want to, like load this thing up with ROMs and play Nintendo and Super Nintendo in your living room, this is the way to go. And if you want something small that you can carry around and just always have a computer with you, it's the way to go as well. When I got this one, it also came with 4 gigabytes of RAM, but you can get it in different configurations, 2 gigs, 4 gigs. 4 gigabytes of DDR3 is the max, and I believe this runs at 1066. So I'll edit that out if I said the wrong thing, but I'm 99% sure that it runs at 1066. Last but not least, the power consumption. This is only 30 watts. So there's no massive internal power supply. There's just one little AC plug on the bottom, and then you're done. Let's go through the ins and outs, and then we'll get back to the fun stuff. Okay, on the top, we have an SD card reader. We have USB 3 headphone jack, and we've got microphone jack. It's not just headphone jack. You can also use it to plug up your audio equipment. And the HDMI on the back will do surround sound. That just does left and right, So you get 2 channels there. On the back, we've got HDMI, 4 USB 2.0 ports, plenty of stuff there. We have VGA, gigabit Ethernet, and on the bottom is the spot where you plug in your AC adapter. So that's pretty much it. It's really sleek all the way around. I've got it standing in its stand right now. Standing in its stand? Sure. And it's actually really snug in there. Oh, shouldn't shake it too much. It's got a mechanical hard drive, but that thing is on there. It's not going to fall off. It's not flimsy. And I kind of had to like push it on there, but once you get it on there, it's good to go. 192 millimeters from top to bottom, 155 from front to back, and 26. That's how thick it is, 26 millimeters thick. Also in the box, there is a remote. Now this remote will let you control, it's all up to you. It doesn't come with the software or anything like that. This one came with free DOS. So when I loaded it up, I was like, free DOS. I could play some DOS games, yay. So it was like, I'm back in the past now. Well, that's kind of cool because it can come with Windows 7. It just depends on the configuration you grab. We threw Windows 7 on this, tested it out, ran great. You can also get Ubuntu on this, and you can get that factory installed from then, or you can install it yourself. I would recommend going with Zorin. Ubuntu would be great, or you could do Myth TV on this, right on there, and you're good to go. So there's a lot of options with this machine. I'm kind of curious, you guys can let me know what you're doing with it, but here's some of the things that, you know, we might be doing with it. Playing some DOS games, that would be good. Maybe use this for a POS terminal, point of sale terminal. It'd be good for like a general office computer, someone who's just using like Microsoft Office, answering emails, you know, like a little bit of multitasking. It does slow to a crawl if you open up 15 windows at the same time, so don't expect to be running Office and Adobe Premiere and all kinds of other things. I wouldn't even run Adobe Premiere on this at all. This is not an editing machine. It's a multimedia playback machine, not a multimedia creation machine. So don't get those confused, or I will come to your house and pour tea down your trousers. It'd be great in a conference room. I mean, this would be a really good machine for a conference room because it does have the Bluetooth. So there's a lot of different, you know, the handheld devices that are Bluetooth that'll allow you to, you know, do presentations and stuff like that. So it'd be great for that. Also, it has the VGA on the back, which will hook up to most projectors. If not, HDMI, that'll hook up to all the modern projectors. So there you go. Entertainment center, of course, it'll work there. Good music PC. If you need a music PC outside, grab one for a different room in the house, one for outside. You can hook. Here's an idea. Get several of these, put them in different rooms of your house, and then hook them all up to the same NAS, so you have access to your music all over. It'll work with, you know, you can make like an iTunes server out of this. I wouldn't use iTunes personally, but maybe you would. So I use Fubar 2000 because that's how we do it. This would be a great machine to put Linux on. You can carry this like in your backpack. Just throw Linux on there and carry it in your backpack, and someone's like, "Oh no, huge problem, something's wrong," and you're like, "Nothing's wrong anymore. I've got my Linux box right here." So a lot of different things you could do for it, even casual gaming or making a little ROM center for the living room. And what else would you do with this thing, Wendell?
If you put an SSD in it, it would make a really good machine for your car as well. It's very low power in terms of power consumption.
Yeah, 30 watts.
But it's, I mean, you could do a DC to DC converter since it takes 12-volt input, so it's very efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, having a machine in your car for those long car rides or keeping the occupants of the vehicle entertained, that'd be nice. It doesn't really produce that much heat, so
no, it really doesn't.
It'd get hotter and be louder with better video.
Yeah, so that's not really a good complaint. I'm trying to think of another complaint. The bubbles on the outside, not aesthetically pleasing to my eye, maybe your eye, they're okay. I'm nitpicking here, but I have to say like some negative things. That's just the rules, you know. I like to have 90 windows open at the same time. That'd be nice, but you know, with Linux on here, it was much better at multitasking because Windows 7 eats up a lot of the RAM. So there you have it. I am curious. Let me know what you guys would do with a computer like this, with similar specs. I'm just curious. Put it in the comments. Go over to TechSyndica.com. Put it in those comments because, you know, we read those more, and the people over there are really smart. So head over there and let me know what you guys would use this for if you had one. Really curious. All in all, nothing to complain about. You can do a lot with this machine. Very good for the money. See you guys next time.